Greetings, friends. I'm with my grandpa, Robert. It's August 19th, 2023. And I want to ask your opinion, Grandpa, about marriage. Like you were just telling me that a man should get married to a woman.
Yeah.
Yes? So...
Yeah, well, that's natural. Why,
well, because...
why ask confirmation?
Well, because the reason I ask is because today there are many people in the government, in the schools, in the culture that would say that two men can get married. Two men.
Oh, boy. That's impossible.
So what do you think about that?
Yeah.
What are your thoughts? That because it happens. Do you know it does happen? It does happen.
Well, that's a marriage. Two men cannot marry.
Right, but I guess they recognize legally that they're married for the government for tax purposes. So they have the government recognizes them legally as a married couple.
Yeah,
What?
but do they live in Italy?
In Italy? No, I mean we're talking about two men getting married. Two men.
Yeah, but I don't ask you a question. Where this happened?
Where do two men get married?
Yeah.
In Canada, in the USA, in European countries, maybe Australia.
Spread out in all these.
Mostly in the mostly in English-speaking countries and some other European countries. They allow homosexuals to get married.
I see.
But it doesn't happen in other countries. Not really.
Yeah, but what does that mean, get married?
Well, that's a good question.
That's just signing a piece of paper or going into church and saying...
Yeah,
and that's all.
Well, I guess, yeah, in some sense.
You cannot fulfill the duties of a married couple, a woman and man. You cannot, let's say, cook and do all the women's work.
Well, some men might try to do the woman's work. They might try to cook and clean and do that, but...
Yeah.
Why do you think this is not a true marriage if it's two men?
Well, two men cannot get married, simply.
But they would say they can. They believe that they can.
Okay, and then? So what? Let them say that if the government doesn't approve in her document.
The government does approve in the documents. That's the point.
Does not.
They do. The government does. They do.
They do.
Yeah, in illegally.
What they would
recognize them as married.
That one of them is a woman.
No, they would recognize that two men can get married, and they would grant them the certificate. They would grant them the marriage certificate.
In other words, they say it's okay because getting married can apply to two men. Yes,
that's where we are today. The government in our country will recognize that.
Because you don't, because of the law, you don't have to feel men's and women's living together. That is a marriage.
I think I know what you're saying. You don't need the government to tell a man and woman that naturally they would live together in marriage.
So what, do the man and woman just fill out a paper?
They do that as well.
That they are married?
Yes, they do that as well.
And what does that help?
Well, and then in the eyes of the government, they are now officially married. But it's not a religious marriage. It's not a traditional marriage. It's the
Does
government.
does it affect like paying
Taxes. Yes,
taxes?
yes, it does affect that. It has real consequences.
Ah, well, so the two men decide to do out whatever
Yeah,
paperwork
yes,
to say that they are married.
yes, yes.
One counts.
One couple.
It counts a couple.
Yeah.
One wife, one woman.
Well, two husbands. Two husbands.
It can be two men
Yes.
or two women.
Yes, or two women.
That they can get documents or what they
Yes.
are married.
Yes. Two women. Two men. Maybe three people. What about three people getting
I
married?
don't believe that.
What about
Does it actually happen?
yes.
And what do they gain? The pair, who, two men, let's say.
Maybe
Let's say-
that's a good question. Status, recognition,
Let's say we
financial benefit. I don't. They might even recognize 3 or 4 people getting married. I don't know if that's legal right now, but it might become legal where 3 people could be married.
3 people in one marriage.
Yeah.
That's not marriage anymore. In the sense, people, the nation, that they don't understand it that way.
Yeah, I agree with you. But some other people seek to change the tradition. Some other people don't care.
And what does it make any difference in some sort of papers?
Yeah, I guess it does.
Taxpayer or whatever.
Well, it makes a difference in that, but I think it has much more important consequences for the culture.
Oh, yeah.
But I'm not. That's my opinion.
Yeah.
Maybe the last thing I would ask you to finish my interview briefly on this subject is why in your opinion does marriage have to be between man and woman? Why does man and woman make a marriage? Why does it have to be man and woman? I mean, I agree, but I would like to hear your views.
Well, that's just a custom, natural or national or international acceptance of definition. Well, then they would say, if not, then they would pick a woman and say, you are a man, and we are taking you to dig graves or something, do man's work. That's impossible.
I see what you mean.
Ah, yeah.